Good morning, guys. We're finally doing what I eat in a day. Mentally always be the chunky little awkward girl. You know what I mean?
It's time for a VSG update, guys. I got my weight loss surgery over a year and 9 months ago. Let's catch up. Let's give y'all a little update on what it's like after losing 130 pounds and what it's been like to maintain that weight loss for over a year. Every day I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, and I'm just right.
Before I get to any yapping, we need to do a little food tour. We have bacon, strawberries with chocolate and honey, potatoes, eggs, and cheese. Sure, you heard from the beginning of this video, I got weight loss surgery a year and 9 months ago. Crazy, that's crazy. I got a laparoscopic surgery that I'm gonna be referring to as VSG because it just stands for vertical sleeve gastrectomy. It's better known as the sleeve. I feel like that's the most common term. I don't know why it sounds like the claw. But in simple terms, my doctor, Dr. Quigley, literally love him. He went in with a robot that looks somewhat like this. It cut off a good 75% of my stomach. Sometimes like I don't really realize what actually happened and then I'm like, oh, I did that. So pretty much I have a smaller stomach than the average person and life is just different. I have certain rules that I have to follow. Like I can't eat and drink at the same time. I can't have like carbonation. There's a lot of stuff. And within the last like year, I feel like I've just found like my new normal. And that's what I'm gonna be sharing today. Yeah. Change of the fit. I put on something a little sporty because at the moment, me and my friend Stephanie are doing like this 30-day little challenge where all throughout January, we're either going on a walk or we're doing yoga. And I think I'm gonna do yoga later. Anyway, usually by this time, I'd already be at the coffee shop. But I'm trying not to go, at least for like a week. I'm trying to be good. I don't know. Which, speaking of coffee, I get a lot of questions asking, is the coffee that you drink with regular sugar or do you use like a stevia or like non-sugary sugar, or do you use like a protein shake? Like what does your coffee routine look like? And I'm not gonna lie, I usually just get normal sugar because like a girl's gotta live, you know what I mean? If this is your first time watching me, I literally hate stevia. I hate fake sugars. I hate it. So if I'm having any like sugary beverage, just know that there's at least a little bit of sugar in there. When I make my coffee at home, I'll usually use part Premier protein shake as like my creamer, but I'll always add like creamer inside too. Or I'll always add like regular whipping cream. Even though I'll put a little bit of protein in it, I always have to have like a little bit of sugar because it just does not taste right. It just doesn't hit, you know? Even this I'm pretty sure has regular sugar in it. But in general, when I get my coffee like at my coffee shop, I'll usually always get it like half sweet to like 75% sweet. But I'm not gonna lie, that's honestly just because that's the way I like for it to taste. But back to this little cutie, this is Rebel. I don't know why, but they're like the only protein shake that I like. I have a sneaking suspicion that the only reason I really like it is because it's plant-based protein, because every other protein just tastes so disgusting to me. And I'll usually get like the vanilla or the chocolate, but today they only had spiced pumpkin pie and I felt like that might be kind of good. Let's try her. That's so good. That's so good. Okay, but new insecurity after getting the surgery is the way that I drink things, because I can't like chug things super fast. So I always like hold the liquid in my mouth and slowly drink it. And I don't know why I get really insecure about that. I'm like, do people think that I drink weird? I don't know. I feel like that's so stupid, but I'm gonna drink this while I do my little chores. Set another 30-minute timer, then it'll be time to do yoga. Okay, yoga is done. I feel so much more relaxed. Guys, this reminds me of last year when I was doing my 75 hard and I was waking up at like 5 a.m. every morning. I did get some questions regarding movement and working out and all of that, because with the surgery, this isn't just like a one and done, like chop off your stomach and then you're skinny forever. For one, you have to try to be healthier with your eating. Like, even to get approved, you have to lose a certain amount of weight. You have to go to multiple dietitian classes. You have to relearn how to eat. You have to relearn how to be healthy again. Not to mention like the psych evaluations and all of the different tests that you have to do. And it's just so that you can succeed in your journey and you'll learn how to like create a new life for yourself. Someone asked point blank, do you still work out? And I know that at the very beginning when I first got the surgery, I was like at the gym 24/7, like literally like 7 days out of the week. And then I outdid it just a little too much because I didn't realize how little I was eating to be working out. So I took a little break from the gym. But then someone also asked, do you ever consider going back to the gym to tighten skin and or build muscle? And yes, honestly, I think about going to the gym so much. And truthfully, the reason that I don't go to the gym now is because I just have gym anxiety. Like, I will just mentally always be the chunky little awkward girl. You know what I mean? And I don't know what I'm doing in the gym. I can walk on a treadmill and I can do cardio stuff because that's easy for me. Like, everyone knows how to walk. But realistically, if I'm breaking down what I need to do to reach the goals that I want, which is more like rebuild muscle, rebuild all the muscle I lost. That includes like weightlifting and using the different machines. And because I know I'm just so awkward to try and do those things because I know I'll do them wrong, I just feel like I don't properly even use the gym. Yeah, so I think I just need like a gym buddy, someone that's very well experienced and can help and like teach me, and then like I'll definitely be good in the gym. But we're trying to get back to it. It was like one step forward, two steps back. Me and my friend Stephanie, as I mentioned, are doing like the little yoga and walk challenge for January. And we said if we finish the entirety of January, then we will get gym memberships together. So maybe you'll be seeing me in the gym more, but I don't know. I go back and I look at myself in the gym, like my little videos where I was working out, and I just cringe because I'm like, I know that's bad form. And this is on the internet for people to see. As far as loose skin goes, I don't know if I could even like tighten up my skin anymore. Like, unless I was getting like treatments from like doctors and stuff. Of course I have loose skin. It's just not crazy enough for me to really complain about it. Like, I'll pull up a picture of me right here. Just like bra underwear. It's not really even that big of a deal for me. I think it's just because of my age. So there's not really like the biggest motivation to be like, I need to tighten my skin. I think the only thing that would actually tighten my skin is if I maybe just gained like a little bit more weight in like my thigh area. Other than that, like, my arms don't really bother me anymore very much. My stomach doesn't really bother me that much either. If anything, for my stomach, it's just like stretch marks. But like, I've had stretch marks for years, so like, we're used to it. But the goal of this year is to just regain that muscle that I lost. So y'all pray for me, put it out in the universe. I'm gonna be a muscle mommy this year. Let's make lunch because we built up an appetite. We have 0 groceries, but what we do have is leftover pizza. The dishwasher is going, but little food tour where we have strawberries and honey, cheddar cheese, and then just leftover pizza. Which, if you're curious, I get the thin crust from Domino's with the garlic, beef, mushroom, and bacon. So good. But she's missing something. If you've noticed, I've been using my scale for everything that I eat, and that is because I eat about 4 to 6 ounces. Because I'm like a naturally anxious person, I would get super anxious that like, oh my gosh, if I'm not weighing my foods, like, I'm gonna be eating too much, I'm gonna re-stretch my stomach back. But every time that I like intuitively eat and then I go remeasure it, it stays within my limits anyway. I don't have to measure it anymore just because it's been like a year, but it just gives me more of a sane mind. You know, I can already feel the food police watching this video being like, that's not Greek yogurt ranch. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna eat things that I'm not gonna enjoy because I don't eat a lot. Period.
Okay, I wanted to pop in really quickly because I'm pretty sure I started watching TV and I got distracted and I didn't talk about my favorite thing about eating after weight loss surgery, and that is that I have found a good sense of what I like to call balance. So my life motto is not to restrict, because that is how I ended up as a binge eater. In the past, I used to tell myself, I can't have this, I can't have that. So I would be like, I can't have pizza, I can't eat unhealthy all day, right? So all day I'd be restricting myself from things that I wanted to eat. And then by the end of it, I would give up and then I'd just eat a whole pizza to myself. Or I'd eat pizza and then I'd eat chips and then I'd be like, well, I'm already a failure, so I should add cheese onto it. So I wanted to pop in for this meal specifically because I feel like it was a good example of eating what I want, the pizza, but also incorporating stuff like strawberries that are good for me and adding cheese, something that'll fill me up a little bit, and just finding like a good balance, but also just not villainizing food, because food is fuel. At the end of the day, eating is better than not eating. So instead of thinking, oh, this thing is just so unhealthy, I like to think of it as like, I want this thing, but I also need other stuff so that I can have more energy, my stomach won't hurt as much, stuff like that. But yeah, I just wanted to pop in and just remind y'all of that, because sometimes when you're watching other people eat, although they're coming at it from a good mindset, you can get lost in the sauce and be like, well, they're eating a little bit less than me and they're incorporating things that I don't incorporate. And at the end of the day, eat what you want, but also think about how much better your body would feel if you also ate what you needed. But yeah, okay, back to the video.
Back from the grocery store, but before I start putting anything away, it's time to start taste testing all those snacks I got. Oh, the bottom opened. This is what I mean by I need to build muscles. That makes me want to cry. One of my goals for January is to not eat hot Cheetos because I love hot Cheetos so much. So I'm branching out. We're trying different snacks. This is chili lime grain-free puffs. I give those chips earlier like a 3 out of 10. Not great, but something that is always great, supremely spicy Sabra hummus. Every time that I have Sabra hummus, it reminds me of the first Last of Us, because we played that when I was in my like really big hummus phase. Which cheese should I go for this little snack time? This with a little bit of cheese. And then to round out this little snacky time, I found this at the store. It's like that one TikTok trend, but like capitalism. I got it. It's basically just fruit covered in lemon juice, and then they put like sour candy coating on it. I got it in the flavor pineapple because I loved like the gummy bear pineapple flavor. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. And that is like one of the things that you can only have like 1 or 2 of, and then you're done. Oh, that was good though. That was good. Okay, I'm gonna take a little break and then we'll be back when it's time to cook dinner. And I'm gonna try to get in some water in 30 minutes. Let's start the timer. And it's a different day, guys. I just wanted to do a little rapid fire at the end of this video, answering all of your questions. Starting off with the most basic. Do you use a straw? If you're not familiar with the weight loss surgery community, that's probably like, huh? Like, do you use a straw? But there is a myth that says that if you use a straw after your surgery, that you'll stretch your stomach. But basically, that's what it is, a myth. Most doctors will advise you not to use a straw after your surgery, but that is like when you're healing, because there's a lot of air that's trapped inside you already, and then using a straw kind of puts more air into your stomach. And now at the beginning, I would kind of like slowly sip through my straw, let out some of the air, and then swallow it. But from what y'all saw, I do always just like sip my liquids and hold them and then slowly drink them. So the straw thing does not, I don't think it very much affects me at all. But because we are talking about like drinking and water, that kind of gets me into the next question, which is, what vitamins do you use? In the last video, I think that I said that I was using Care of, and I really did like that. It's very cutesy. You do your little quiz and then it gives you all of the vitamins that it thinks that you need. But Care of actually went out of business, so I've heard. I haven't actually looked up if that's right, but before they did, I decided that I didn't want to use them anymore. I had gone to my doctor, and there are a lot of different companies out there that try to make you feel like the only vitamins that you can use are bariatric specific vitamins. But my doctor actually told me that you can pretty much have any like multivitamin as long as it has what you need, which is like iron, calcium, all of the good stuff, the hair, skin, and nail stuff, if you know what I mean. Which, speaking of, I very much need to get my blood drawn. I haven't done that in a while, just so I can see what vitamins I should be upping. But yeah, I've just been using this bottle. I'm pretty sure it's from like Walmart or Sam's, and it's been pretty good. Like, I have not gotten lightheaded anymore. I used to get lightheaded all of the time. Like, if I stood up too fast, it was like, ooh. But overall, I feel like just eating has been a game changer when it comes to like vitamins, getting it from the source. Next question, do you drink carbonation? So, although I do break a little bit of the mythical rules of drinking from a straw, I do not drink carbonation. It's just not something that, like, first off, I crave very often or at all. I say this in every video, but growing up, my dad was diabetic, and so we never really had like sodas in the house. So it's not something that like I crave. It's not like a comfort type of thing. I feel like what people's version of Coke is like me with a coffee, if that makes sense. So I don't really get the urge. I have sipped different people's sodas. Like if there's a Baja Blast right there, like I do kind of want to like stick my tongue in it, take a little sip, but not enough to where it could ever affect me in any way. And I feel like it's just something I've gotten used to. Like I haven't had a soda in like almost 2 years. So it's just not something that I like crave anymore. Moving on, do you weigh yourself consistently still? And the answer to this is no. You know, when you get the surgery, you are weighing yourself every single day because it's the craziest thing in the world. I'm not gonna lie, if I could recommend anything, it would be to not weigh yourself, especially when you're losing all of the weight from the surgery, because sometimes you're not losing good weight, like you're losing muscle. Psychologically, it's just not good for your brain to see yourself going down in pounds that fast. It's not normal. I'll get messages from people and they're like, I only lost 40 pounds in 2 months. I'm like, girl, you lost 40 pounds in 2 months?
what do you mean? What do you mean? And they're like, well, I lost blah, blah, blah last month. And this month I only lost like 25 pounds. It's like, it's not healthy for the brain, and people just start getting all skewed. I think it wasn't until I kind of hit like the 100-pound to like 120-pound mark that I just kind of slowly stopped weighing myself. And now like I hardly ever weigh myself. I did though weigh myself for this video because I knew that would be a question, which gets into the next one. How much do you weigh? And where do you maintain? First off, to give perspective, my starting weight was 255 pounds and I've lost 130. So if you do the maths, I weigh around like 125, depending on the time of the month and just situational stuff. I'll fluctuate from like a good 125 to like maybe a 135. And I've just stuck around there. Every time that I weigh myself, I'm usually around like 130. If it's like a harder week to eat, 125. If I'm on vacation, I'm enjoying life, maybe 135, but on a relatively normal day, I would say that I stick around like 130. Yeah. Next thing is all about visuals. I've gotten the question of, can we see your loose skin? Do you have loose skin? Can we see your scars? Can you show us what they look like after like a year and almost 2 years at this point? When standing up and when in clothing, I feel like just looks like a normal stomach. And she isn't very like hangy unless I'm like working out or like doing yoga or something where I'm in like a weird position. So she doesn't really bother me that much. I feel like now it's just like, this is my body. You know, we've kind of gotten more normalized with how I look now. The first year though, it was kind of hard because in your mind, you have this like fake version of what you'd look like if you lost a bunch of weight, right? Because the only examples of like skinny people most of the time are people who have been skinny their entire life. They have like plump, tiny little arms and they have nice and shaped thighs and they don't have loose skin everywhere. And so at first it can be very daunting because you're like, oh, I did this to myself. And even though I've lost all of this weight, still you can tell, and there's still consequences of my old actions. But then I would say after the initial shock of what your new body's gonna look like, there's so much like self-love and self-growth that happens, and you just become like normalized to what life is gonna look like. And as far as scars, I feel like they kind of just blend in with like my stretch marks, my eczema. It's like, girl, might as well add another little scar in there. It really does not. I don't notice them at all. The next one is all about hair growth. I don't know if she's proving it at the moment because I didn't really do my hair today, but she is growing. There, I have to insert photos because there was just a terrible time where my hair was just absolutely so thin. And I think that I have proof that it actually looks horrible because I have been same looking for like a year, as I said, but I have never been more hit on than when my hair actually started showing up. I'm like, oh, so that's kind of like proof that it did look horrible. And guys, my hair was so thin that like if I went like this, you could see my hand. You could see my hand behind my hair. Like it was so ungodly thin. And I even would go swimming and then my friend's grandma was like, oh, is your hair still falling out? Because I found a bunch of it in my pool. Not to mention the clogged everything. The clogged sinks, because that's where I brush my hair. The clogged showers. I'm like, the drains, they were suffering. On my 1 year mark, I chopped her to about my shoulders. So she has grown a good amount within this last like 9 months. I love it. I love it. It just makes me feel like I'm getting back to not like my old self, but my true self. You know, I've never felt more comfortable than when my hair was luscious and long. It like the confidence was crazy. Which, speaking of confidence, I feel like one of my number one questions is, are you more confident now? Or are you more insecure? I would say within like the first year, because of the hair loss, because of the loose skin, I was like both confident and very, very horribly insecure because it felt, and this is gonna sound so bad, but it felt like, oh, I lost weight and I still don't find myself pretty. I still look at the mirror and I still like low-key want to cry. But now that it feels like I grew the self-love with the skin and my hair is growing back, my confidence has never been more confidencing. Like I feel like I trusted in myself and I've done all the right things that like, I don't know if it's the mixture of looking better or if it's feeling better, but the confidence is crazy. This next one is the big question. Do people treat me different after losing weight? People that I know and strangers, do they? So different. It's actually insane. I would say starting off with people that I know. In the past, I'd see people like at Walmart, people that I've known my whole life, and we just do like a good, and I want to give them the benefit of the doubt because it's like a topic to bring up, you know what I mean? But people talk to me a lot more that have never really spoken to me, if that makes sense. Also, people will add me on social media that I've known my entire life and we've never followed each other. So that was like, there was a big influx of that, especially men. People are just nicer to me. But I'm not sure if this is just like a product of weight loss surgery, you know what I mean? And like losing weight, because so many things have changed in my life. For one, I'm just like a more approachable person. The fact that like now I post on social media, so I feel like people will see me on their phones. And so it's like they know me, even if we haven't seen each other in like years. So I'm not going to put all of that on to just like losing weight. I have to say though, the people in my daily life will take off guard photos of me, which first off, that's so cutesy, but like you never did that before. But keep doing it. You know what I mean? And they'll be like, look how cute you look. And I'm like, but like, I feel like that never would have happened before. So things like that, just random stuff. Like people act different, but all of the main people in my life, like my best friends, they truly treat me exactly the same. And that's just something that I really love. Like family, close friends, nothing really has changed other than maybe a couple like extra compliments because now I wear clothes that I actually want to wear. You know what I mean? Because now they have stuff to compliment. Before, I feel like it wasn't even like a weight issue. It was just like a confidence. I was giving miserable. I was giving unapproachable, if that makes sense. So as far as strangers, this is where I've seen the biggest difference. First off, have men hit on me. I don't know how I feel about that. Like sometimes I'm like, wow, like I'm good looking enough where like somebody felt the need to literally approach me. Like that's crazy. But then there's just that awkward like, yeah, no, because I don't know what to say. I've never been hit on in my life. Something that I've been telling myself is just stop making eye contact. Just stop making eye contact. It's a flattering problem to have, but it's, yeah, I don't know. But the fun thing is old people smile at me a lot now. I don't know what it is about like being in a smaller body, but the smiles that I get from old people, like they just look at me like, and I think it's because I'm radiating like young vibes. I don't know, but old people smile at me so much and they talk to me more. Like I'll just be standing there and they'll ask me about my day. And like that never happened before. I love that like I'm treated nicer, but it's kind of like she deserved that too. My old self deserved for y'all to all smile at her too, and to be nice to her. But yeah, it's like a double-edged sword. Every time that I'm complimented, every time that I'm smiled at in a way that I know I wouldn't have been, it feels good, but then it like hurts my heart because I'm like, there is another girl out there that's chunky and she's not getting those smiles just because of her size. It makes me sad. I can't think about that too much or I'll literally cry. Next one, which I feel like we kind of spoke about a little bit in the last one, is it weird to get compliments now? Yeah. Because like I feel like I didn't get a lot of compliments back in the day. So I just do not know how to respond to them. And usually a person that's giving me a compliment, I'll usually just give them a compliment back because there's always something to compliment someone by. It's hard for me to just be like, thank you. Like I just don't if someone's making me feel good, it's like I want to make them feel good too. But it is weird because it's just something that you're not used to. And then it starts happening more and you're like, oh. Next up is, do you have body dysmorphia? Yes. I feel like I always answer the exact same questions in every single update, but like these are the questions that people ask over and over again. Body dysmorphia, she's doing her thing. I will literally wake up one day and be so terrified that I'm eating too much and I'm actually gaining weight. And what if I go back to my old self? And what if people don't smile at me anymore? Blah, 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 blah. And then the next moment I'll look in the mirror and be like, but I look like a skeleton. And I actually look like I'm dying and I look like a piece of bone, you know? And that can be within like an hour of each other. I don't know what I look like. Yeah, I don't know what I look like. Sometimes I'll just see myself, and I've never had this problem, but sometimes I'll think that I look too skinny. But then other days I'm like, oh, I'm just the perfect amount of weight and I don't need to gain anymore. I just look perfect. And I don't know. I would say every day I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, and I'm just right. It goes like this. I'm definitely a lot smaller than my mind can comprehend though, because sometimes I'll just wear an extra small. What do you mean? It's weird. It's a weird life. And now I actually really love this question, and it's, what is my favorite part about weight loss? And you might think that it's like, I can fit in stuff now and I just love seeing the scale go down, but it's like, I just love the energy that I have now. I feel like before my surgery, I was so depleted. Like I was just so tired. Like doing anything was such a chore. And being able to be hyper, like being able to just run around and be like, hee ha ha. Like I feel almost like a kid again. Like there's just more life within me, if that makes sense. And because I answered my favorite part of weight loss, let's get into my least favorite part of weight loss. And that is people stealing my shit. Bro, I guess this isn't like a product of losing weight, but it's a product of sharing your weight loss. Guys, the amount of times that my body is used to promote supplements, to promote weight loss programs, to promote shots, to promote like so many things, stuff that I would never promote. It's like, first off, it's scary because there's people in my life that see that, and what if they want to buy it because they think that I'm promoting it? And secondly, it's just annoying. Like that is me and you're making money from me. It's not like I want the money. I just don't want you to be scamming people and using me. I don't know how to explain it, and then getting rewarded for it. TikTok is definitely where it happens the most. I'd say on Snapchat, it's not that they like use me to like promote anything. It's usually like they're just showing my video amongst other weight loss videos, and like that I really don't mind as much. But literally yesterday, tell me why, my aunt called me and she's like, oh my gosh, I was playing my game on my iPad and I had to watch an ad and your video came up promoting some program or some pill. It's always something different, but on a literal app commercial is crazy. And then I have all of these TikTok ones. These are all from one person. Like they just keep posting my video acting like it's an ad. They actually used to just go by Zing AI, but then I reported them because you don't have my permission. And I reported them enough times, and so did a bunch of people, that they had to change their like business name to Zing AI Gym and Home Workouts. So now that's them, and they're reposting everything. And it's the same company. They've posted it like 10 million times. How am I supposed to delete and report like 10 million ads? It's just, it's not the best. And you know what's even worse? The fact that in that video, I spelled lose wrong. I said, watch me lose weight. That's so embarrassing. What the fuck? And they keep it in their ad. I actually posted on my story, guys, if y'all see these ads, please report them. And they reported me and got a strike on my TikTok. So now I'm just like, who cares? Not me letting them win, but it's just like, what am I supposed to do? I will get so many messages like every single day from people I know, which is the worst part because I know it's reaching like people I know. I don't like it. And lastly, to end off the video, I love to ask this question at the end of every single update, and that is, do you regret your surgery? And no, I think that I was always just so scared of getting closer to the 2-year mark because I know that that's when people kind of like, they start to gain a little bit of weight back, not because they're overindulging or anything like that, but just because it's normal. Like your body's just getting used to you being able to eat again. And I was always scared. Like I always thought that I'd maybe go back to a good like 150, 160 around this time of my life. But I've pretty much like maintained and stayed exactly the same. Maybe in like a year, it might be different. But I think as long as I'm feeling better, I'm eating balanced. That includes having stuff that I want, as well as like stuff that I need, like protein and vegetables. And I'm just incorporating those and giving myself a well-balanced and happy, sustainable life. And I'm able to move and I'm able to just have the energy to live. I think that all will be fine and I won't be regretting the surgery. But yeah, that is going to be it for the updates for what my life looks like. I have been skinny for a year. That's weird. That's goofy. That's crazy. So random, but guys, TikTok is getting banned in like just a couple of days and I'm so sad because I have had like zero motivation. So I feel like I've kind of been a little disconnected from my TikTok followers, but if you came from TikTok, I just want to say I literally love every single one of y'all. I'm glad that y'all moved over here just to like stay in touch with me. I really wanted to give y'all like a good VSG video, make your day a little better after the TikTok ban. I am so grateful for TikTok because I feel like that's where a lot of my viewers came from. And I think it's so cool that our #1 VSG video literally has like what, 32 million views? That's crazy. 32.8. I'm like, y'all did that. Y'all really did that. I just want to say I am going through like a little bit of life situation. So my videos might be coming out a little bit late this month, but we will be right back in it when the Valentine's Day stuff starts coming up. So get excited. I will see you in the next one. If you made it this far, comment down below. This little handbag. I don't know why it reminds me of my tiny little stomach. Okay, I will see y'all in the next video or in the next VSG video, depending on if you're watching my VSG playlist. It'll be in the description below, but I literally love you. It's currently 2:22, and I think that's my sign to sign off. I'll see you in the next one.